It's a Christmas edition. I'm so excited. This is a Christmas special. It is a special episode. It is a special time of year. I'm on my own, unfortunately, because Niall isn't well. Get well soon, Niall. But he has been a busy little Christmas elf, and he's been in touch with loads of our past guests. Thanks to everyone who has submitted a Christmas question for Pam. I've had so much fun seeing all your faces, listening to your questions, and thinking about my answers too. What a brilliant range of topics, from AI to favourite Christmas presents to, what we'd advise early career teachers. Great questions, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who's listening. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in hearing, we have got some brilliant guests. Let's dive in. Hey, and welcome to the Digitize Fully Charged Podcast. My name is Pam Curry, and this is the Christmas edition. Thanks so much to Niall for prepping all the questions for me. Our first question comes from Gary Jameson. Gary is Skills Development Officer at the V&A Museum in Dundee. Caught up with Gary a couple of weeks ago there as we were judging his Streets Ahead competition, which is just amazing. Looking forward to the Design Jam next year in February as we bring the podcast live from the V&A. But let's hear what Gary would like to know in this Christmas episode.
Hi Pam, hope you're well. I was just thinking about when I was younger, the best Christmas present that I got was my Sega Master System. I'd asked for it and my mum told me I wasn't getting it, and then it was the last present that I opened on Christmas Day, and it was like something I've kind of remembered for forever. So my question to you is, what is the best present that you've ever received?
Oh, hi Gary. What a great question. I absolutely know what you mean when you say the present when you think Christmas is over, and then out comes the hidden secret surprise present. Not that other presents aren't a surprise, but yeah, I've been there. In fact, mine is also a tech related answer. And in 1980 early, two, three maybe, the Curry family, Jack Curry, the father, came through with a big box, and he announced that this was a family Christmas present, and we opened it rather enthusiastically, and it was a computer called a VIC 20. Um, it's old. And it couldn't do very much, as I remember. In fact, we used to play a game called Blitz, which was like a sort of skyscrapery bomber type game, very like, simple graphics. And yeah, we used to play that as a family. My dad actually found a version of the game quite recently and shared it with us all, just to take us back to that 80s Christmas. But yeah, thanks, Gary. That's a great question. And my favourite was a VIC 20 computer. This next question comes from Simon Luxford Moore of Luxford EDU, and it's a really thought provoking one. Simon's asking us about something that he thinks has gone missing from our classrooms. Let's hear what Simon asks.
Pam, Niall, how are you both? Hello to all the listeners as well, that are going to be getting some inspiration from your amazing channel. I need your help. I need the collective thoughts, not just of you two, but perhaps of your wider expertise and audience. Curiosity. Curiosity is fundamentally missing from our classrooms, and I don't understand why. Curiosity, as we know, creates engagement. That moment that a young person in the class puts their hand up after something you've said, asked, or shown them, that should be the moment that teachers stop everything and accept and embrace the tangent that the rest of this lesson could very well go on. But we don't seem to do it. And yet, if we have greater engagement through curiosity, then we have greater debate, we have better oracy skills that are also lacking, we have perhaps even increased attendance. That's not just overall for school, but for those particular lessons or subjects, perhaps. And all these connections help with greater recall and greater meaningful connections to learning. So why are we not encouraging more curiosity and factoring in time? Is there anything you can suggest or prompt for people to be able to find that time for curiosity?
Hi, Simon. What a fantastic question. Really got me thinking, actually, about, why that could be. Where has curiosity gone? We've all been, as educators, down those rabbit holes, along those side quests. Um, and I guess time is probably my gut instinct on this one. You mentioned it yourself in your question, is it where do we find the time? Well, we find the time by rethinking, you know, old fashioned systems and approaches, and by bringing in new methods, using AI to its full capacity, um in education for the admin stuff, and freeing up more time for the human connection. And that's where curiosity in the classroom lies, I think. Let's get rid of the exams. Let's make things interdisciplinary. Let's make things project focused and real world, and then we'll see curiosity. Okay, so we've got a question next from Jonathan Simons. Jonathan is an educator, runs Code Inventors down in England. He's got a brilliant question about AI and young people. Let's listen.
Hi Pam, I wanted to ask what your thoughts were on bias in AI and how we support our students in order that they can actually spot that bias and research and understand and try and find at least some sort of conclusion of truth and not sometimes be fooled by some of the inaccuracies of AI.
Hi, Jonathan. Really interesting question. Thank you for sending that in. Hearing a lot of chat around this kind of stuff just now. Bias in AI is inevitable because AI is trained from human beings, and we've a long history of bias in our content and media outputs. And I guess the answer to your question is there. We've always educated young people about bias in the news and media, on social media. Natural evolution of that is that we consider bias in AI. Seen some brilliant little activities for young people to get them thinking about this kind of stuff. Image generation is a really interesting one. So, for example, if you were to ask AI to generate an image of a meeting of doctors, you might see some bias in the representation of doctors. What does AI think a doctor looks like? Is that fair? Does it take into account diversity of any kind? It's an interesting activity. You could use it the same for, show me a group of parents, see if there's a stereotype in there. Is the parent a mum? Do we have like same sex parents? Do we, is there diversity there? Really good conversations. And that's it. You need to talk to young people. We need to educate them. We can't block this. We need to be using this in schools now and discussing these things. And it might need to be at younger ages supervised and teacher use only, but the discussion and the thinking and the critical thinking needs to be there. Really important point, Jonathan. Thank you. Bit of an interruption, bit of a plea. If you're listening to this podcast on an app just now, make a big difference to us. If you could like it, comment on it, share it with someone else, helps us grow. Niall and I really, really appreciate it. We work hard all year to to bring you great content, to record these episodes. We don't make any money out of it, but we do it because we love it and we care about it. If you'd like us to keep doing it, it would really mean a lot for you to share this with other people. But we appreciate you. Let's get back into the episode. So next up, we've got Falkirk social subjects teacher Aileen Wallace. Aileen does a really funny thing when she asks this question. She brings out props. If you're listening, then one of the props is a selection box. The other prop is a big wrapped present. You will hear the subtle change in intonation when Aileen brings out the props. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it, of course, happening. But this is a great question from Aileen. Let's hear it.
Hi Pam and Niall. In 2025 I've been getting all wrapped up in updates from my favourite platforms. But if there's a teacher out there who's new to EdTech or new to AI and education, of the selection box of tools and platforms that are out there, what would you recommend they try?
Oh, thanks, Aileen. Great question. Lovely to see you. I've been loving your tech shirt Tuesdays. You've been fairly gathering a collection of tech t-shirts, and you've certainly got your favourites, haven't you? In terms of my favourites, Notebook LM for me, standout product and the way it's been developing. I mean, the podcast feature for education, the it's a study aid, isn't it? It's fantastic. Lots of great stuff happening with Google Gemini just now as well. Nano Banana, image generation, Google Vids as well, bringing in video AI features. Lots of really exciting things happening in the Google space right now. I mean, it's a race out there, isn't it? It's a race for all these companies building apps and tools and integrations and whatever else. It's super exciting time. If you're not using an AI, it doesn't matter what, Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, but if you're not using that as a core part of your workflow, a mentor, an admin assistant, a classroom assistant, lesson planner, whatever. But if you're not doing that, then I think you're missing a trick. You're missing a work hack. And it'll really help you. And the good thing about AI is it's super easy to learn. So I think maybe my advice would be pick a core product, use them all, try them all, and just see what they're capable of, because it's probably a lot more than you realised. I'm so excited by our next guest. Do you know that surprise, party guest? The surprise invite. Niall's done it with this guest. This is Courtney Steedman. She was an intern with Digitize Collab from when she was a first year university student at Napier. Oh, was it Napier? I think it was Napier University, where she was doing business studies, business development. Oh, I'm not very good at remembering the specifics, Courtney, but she's a massive part of the Digitize story. Courtney stayed with us for years. We gave her first graduate position. She was just always a shining light in the Digitize team and a really proud part of our story. So let's hear what Courtney's asking.
Hello Digitize team, I have a question for the Christmas special edition of the Digitize Fully Charged podcast. Now my question is, how do we educate parents on the importance of devices, one-to-one devices, whether that be, Chromebooks or similar in education? And my question really comes from, because before I worked with you guys, I really could have been one of these people who had this tendency to think that screen time was almost bad for young people. It could have a detrimental effect. There's other things they should be doing. They shouldn't spend all of their life looking at screens. And these are statements I hear, commonly from friends who might have toddlers, or you hear it on social media. I've come across videos on social media where parents are actively seeking out schools that they make a commitment to have less screen time as part of the children's day. So I guess my question is, how do we educate parents on the importance of one-to-one devices in education and the place that they have, and how important do you think it is that we educate parents? Do you think that should be, a key part of delivering a digital transformation in education, that there really is an educational piece for parents that goes alongside everything that we're trying to do to improve the education received for the young people?
Courtney, it is lovely to hear your voice and see your little face. Thank you so much for sending that question in. Like, really blown away by the surprise. It's amazing to see you. Really great question as well. Worries me that you're hearing this on the old socials, parents avoiding schools for screen time. Like, I mean, that really worries me for a couple of reasons, right? Number one is accessibility. So these devices bring accessibility tools that, to be honest, should be a right for everyone. Not everyone, like, they're not even just for people with access needs, because these really are game changing technologies to enable young people to access learning. So things like screen readers and dictation and large mouse cursor and stuff like that, like really powerful accessibility tools. And the second thing I think is purposeful creativity. And, the devices are a part of your toolkit, like a pen or a pencil or a felt tip. Like they're part of a toolkit that you use when you need it. But I think, yeah, as we move into project-based learning and, interdisciplinary stuff, devices just become something that you switch in and out of. And I think as long as it's purposeful, that would be the reassurance for parents. No one in education would ever suggest, laid back, sitting in front of a screen time. It's purposeful use of devices. And that's what's really exciting about one-to-one devices in education. Thanks, Courtney. Great to see you again. Let's get on with the next question. Okay, well, we're getting through the questions here on the Christmas special. Thanks again to everyone who sent them in. I am thoroughly entertained seeing all your questions and thinking about my answers. I've probably spent ridiculously long doing it, but I've absolutely enjoyed it. Thanks again to Niall for putting it all together. Our next guest is Sammy White, and Sammy is just one of our favourite people here at Digitize Crew. Busy mum, busy doing lots of great ed tech stuff. Sammy has had a fantastic 2025, and her question's just brilliant. I love it. I love her question. Let's hear it.
Hello, my gorgeous Digitize crew. It's Sammy here, and I have a really quick question. I'm here with Frosty. What flavour would you put on a snow cone? Do you remember the original Mr. Frosty and you had to crush the ice up? What flavour would you put on it as a child? What flavour would you put on it now? And more importantly, did you get one for Christmas, or were you like me, one of the kids that was denied? Luckily, as an adult, I have managed to secure one. Happy Christmas.
Sammy, what a brilliant question. Mr. Frosty. Never got one myself. I love that you went, I have managed to secure one as an adult. Do you know, in my friendship group, similar story. And I've had this clarified over the last couple of hours. So my friend Rona always wanted a Mr. Frosty, never got one. She really was upset she didn't get one as a kid. So on the eve of my wedding, apparently, I had forgotten this bit, but my friend Lisa, the two of them were both bridesmaids when I first got married a long time ago. And the other bridesmaid, Lisa, got Rona one on the eve of my wedding, apparently. I think Rona thinks it was me that got it, but it wasn't. It was Lisa. And she got Rona a Mr. Frosty. I think she still got it. In answer to your question, though, Sammy, brilliant question. As a kid, it would have been something fruity like blackcurrant or strawberry. Nah, probably raspberry. But as an adult, I think it has to be a frozen margarita, right? Surely you've tried that, have you? Anyway, Sammy, thanks for your question. Brilliant one. Loving the Mr. Frosty. So cute. It genuinely is a joy to hear these questions coming in. Next up, another great friend of the podcast and Digitize in general. This is Ben Rouse. He does amazing workshops, and you'll see why from his question. Let's just listen.
Hey Pam, hey Niall, I've invented a time machine for you for a little talking point. It's quite specific though in how it works. So you've got about 30 seconds. So think sort of Princess Leia message in an R2 unit, sort of time frame to deliver something quick. You can only go back to yourself back in the day when you were 16, very specific again. And you can't do anything that will mess up the space-time continuum. So, you can't give your 16-year-old self a sports almanac or anything like that. So with those parameters in place, what are you going to say to your 16-year-old self that's meaningful, does not mess around with the space-time continuum, and just gives them, convinces them it's actually you as well? Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Have a lovely Christmas. Lovely to see everyone again. Over to you.
Ooh, I love that question, Ben. I think it's probably good for all of us to think back to our 16-year-old selves now and then and, consider the advice we might have given ourselves. So I'm not allowed to become a rock star suddenly, because obviously that would have been my mission. But okay, given your rules, the advice I would give is be yourself, Pam. Don't worry about being like everyone else. I don't even know if I need that advice because I never did really follow it. But yeah, just be okay with being yourself. Don't get upset about it. Don't think you've got to be like everyone else and follow the path that other people are following. It's okay to be you. Great advice for any 16-year-old, I'd say. Thanks, Ben. That was a lovely question. Let's move on with the next one. It's Larissa Black next. And another fantastic question. Really excited about this one. Let's hear from Larissa.
Hi Pam, Larissa here from South Carolina. Just a quick holiday-esque question. What do you think it would look like if Santa were to use AI to determine his nice and naughty list?
Oh, Larissa, that was a lovely question. Thank you so much. So, basically, what would it be like if Santa had AI? Well, I'm sure Santa's using AI already. Naughty and nice list wise, though, I think he would need to be cautious. I mean, obviously, he's going to have superpowers with this. Constant monitoring, lots of feedback, learning in patterns. So really seeing the patterns of behaviors and what they mean. Now, Santa will need to be careful, though, because bias has come up again in the course of this podcast. But what if, it's generally deemed that, people who do chores are on the nice list? Yeah, but what if there's someone who's then cruel to the sister? Yeah, they also do chores, but they're cruel to the sister. That's not automatic nice list, is it? Santa's going to need some elves or human input, or Santa input, because although AI can really help Santa, and we just need to be a bit cautious. Great question, Larissa. Thank you. Okay, we're nearing the end of this Christmas special. Only a few more questions to go. And the next one is a really thought-provoking one for myself and Niall as educators. This one's from Caroline Keep. It's been a big year for Caroline. Great to hear her voice again. She was last on the podcast just as she was nearing the end of her PhD dissertation. But it's a great question for us all to think about.
Hi, Digitize Podcast. Hi, Pam. So, having spent the day teaching today with a wonderful ECT, I would love to know, to open up the conversation, what do we think some of the best advice we can give to young ECTs is who are just getting started in teaching? I know I had my advice today, so I'd love to hear everybody else's advice about how we can support young teachers to be encouraged into a profession that I love and that we should talk up. So what's your advice for ECTs?
Oh, Caroline, sounds like you've had a great day working with early career teachers. Now, what advice would we give them? I think there's probably lots of advice that would be really useful, and reminders, I suppose. So, if you ever find yourself crying in a cupboard, you're not the only one to do that. Everyone does that at some point. Everyone, I'm sure. I certainly did. So yeah, don't worry about that. And the next bit of advice I'd say is take the small wins. So, that young person who thanks you when he's getting off the bus at the end of a school trip and, everyone just leaves. And then one person says, "Thanks, miss." Take that small win, remember it. Or the aha moment where they go, "Oh, I get it." Those are the moments. Hang on to them and use AI to get rid of as much bureaucracy and unnecessary admin as you can. And then you free yourself up for working on those human moments and having those connections with young people. Because that's what it's all about. Great question, Caroline. Thank you. Stuart Naismith, thank you for sending in your question. Niall told me you weren't feeling too great and weren't up to doing a video, but thanks for sending it in. Really great question. Just going to put it up on the screen just now. So AI, what do parents need to understand? Yeah, I've got some thoughts on this one. So let's jump in and answer. Really great question, Stuart. Thought-provoking, isn't it? What do parents need to understand? Probably more than they currently do. I think an acceptance that young people are using AI and in some ways being used by AI or having AI used on them, algorithms, social feeds, all these things using AI intelligence to understand consumer needs and consumer wants and what the algorithm should send you. So that's one thing to be aware of. And I think the other thing to be aware of is the enormous potential to help young people as a study aid. For example, AI can personalize learning in a way that is just, instant access 24/7. I think you need to understand, though, that this is a moment to teach young people about critical thinking, about thinking about bias and what AI is telling us, checking it, being aware of, hallucinations and all of these kind of things. The technology is getting better, but just maintain the thought process. That's the key thing for parents and everyone to understand about AI. I'm running out of questions. We've only got a couple more left. And I actually feel a little bit sad. I could keep this Christmas special going for hours. I've loved it. I actually think it's a really good feature. Maybe I just like talking. Anyway, James Hood is next. James is the esports guy for Scotland. He is business development at Arena Sports. Let's hear what James would like to know.
Hi Pam and Niall, how you doing? Hope you're going to have a Merry Christmas. I'd just like to ask you both, what's been the best gift that you've ever got, and what's been the best gift that you've ever given? Have a great new year. Love the podcast. Take care. Thank you guys.
Oh, James, hello. Merry Christmas. Thanks for your question. It's a good one. Double question. Best gift I have ever received. I mean, we've already mentioned the family VIC-20 computer. But I think for me, one of my big interests and passions is music. I really wish I'd been a rock star. I didn't quite make it. I came close, but not close enough. But my favourite gift, I think, was my very first guitar. It was a red Marlin Sidewinder electric guitar, not the fanciest, not a Gibson or a Fender, but that's the guitar that I used to learn to play. I taught myself from, chord books and making up songs. And yeah, so that's definitely my first guitar. It's definitely the best gift I've ever received. Thanks, Mum and Dad, for that. best gift I've ever given is really tough because I honestly can't remember many gifts that I've given. I think I love when you give a gift and the person feels seen, so rather than buying some generic supermarket or, Amazon gift, when you go to like a little independent shop or artist or craft person and find something really unique or a really sweary Christmas card for your friend that will just get it and they feel seen, that's definitely the best kind of gift to give, and it's the gift I love to receive as well. Thanks, James. Great questions and great to see you. Okay, so we're moving on to the last question. I can't believe it. There were so many. I've loved seeing all our guests again. Thanks to every single one of you. Guests that have sent in videos and other guests that have been with us this past couple of seasons. It's been a great experience for both myself and Niall. Niall works really hard in his own time to put together these episodes. I've been putting together this one and I've realised just how much work is involved in that. But yeah, it's really great privilege for us to be able to speak to people and have people come and share their stories with us. We've got big plans for the podcast in 2026, but we're going to leave on a really beautiful, cheery note because Mama Clappy Francois is an EdTech friend of ours, friend of the podcast. She's been on before and she's just wearing the most beautiful festive outfit. For those of you listening, it's a red and green festive colours cardigan, but Mama Clappy's got a great little hat on as well. And just such a happy, cheery voice to finish things up on, but also a reflective question for us. What are we leaving in 25 and what are we taking on into 26 is the general thread. I'm going to hand you over to Mama Clappy just now for our last question in the Christmas special. I've really loved hearing all your questions. Let's hand over to Mama Clappy.
Hey Niall and Pam, happy holidays. And I have a question for you. Thinking back and reflecting on a fantastic year 2025 has been, I'd like you to please share with me what your favorite tools, EdTech tools, were for 2025. And as we progress onto 2026, which tools would you like to see? And simply, which tools do you think should just remain in 2025? I hope you have a fantastic holiday and I look forward to seeing you in 2026. Happy holidays!
Oh, what a great question, Mama Clappy. And I love your festive outfit. Amazing. And you're just such a happy person. I love. Really great Christmas cheer from you. Okay, so standout tools of 2025. I've already mentioned Notebook LM and Nano Banana from Google, all the Google products. But yeah, Canva, big changes have come to Canva in 2025, as they keep doing. Really, it is unbelievable to see the progress that is being made, even just within Canva in the course of the last year. I mean, I've been editing videos this last couple of weeks and I've seen the video editor go through multiple iterations. One time I was training someone on the video editor and it changed live as we were doing the training. So a big tip there for everyone is to keep, being aware that tools will refresh and update as development teams iterate and bring in new technologies. But yeah, Canva is the biggest one. I expect Canva to go from strength to strength in 2026 as it becomes just like the core tool. It's one of the core tools that we use at work. And I can see that happening in education now as well, with the activities that it just makes possible, the coding now as well. So yeah, vibe coding is a big one from 2025 that I think is worth talking about. So this idea that you can create games and little applications without being a coder. Now, we've tested this. Niall regularly makes little games for his learners in his primary school, really specific personalized games that speak to interests and curiosities of young people, and that is hugely powerful and a thing they'd really like to take forward into 26. We've made a couple of little business tools that are just really helpful for businesses. I've seen one of our clients build a tool himself with zero coding experience, so that's really something that I'm interested in next year, is just the potential for using an AI to code things for us. And yeah, that's really exciting too. I think the video generation tools that are coming out are super exciting. Hey Gen's been a big favourite of ours for a wee while, but Google Vid's bringing in some of these features now as well. AI generated videos for teachers, massively beneficial. You can generate video lessons from a script or a prompt. So yeah, that's really great. My big advice to any educator or any person who lives in this world, if you're not using AI, make that your New Year's resolution. AI is not, well, yes, it is to be scared of in some ways, but I think there's a lot of scaremongering and a lot of fear, and actually, just terms like prompt engineering make it sound really technical and complicated. And yes, there's concerns around data, but Google Gemini in Google Workspace for schools does not use your data for training, so that is really clear. And so the rules and regulations are beginning to come into place, and the policies that match them. So yeah, I think there has been fear, understandably so, and there are still things to be cautious about, but I think the benefits of using AI as part of your workflow and thinking for work really far outweigh the risks. So yeah, embrace AI. It's here to help. And at the end of the day, as long as you keep the human oversight, and as long as you're aware of the bias, then yeah, embracing AI cautiously is certainly a good way to go in 2026. Thanks so much to everyone for these questions. I've genuinely loved this. Like, I've been sat here in my office on my own. It's, I probably should have had a little mulled wine and a mince pie, but it really has been the best experience seeing all our guests again, answering the questions, thinking. And I suppose when we do these podcasts, normally I don't really speak that much because it's all about our guests and allowing them the chance to kind of talk and share their thoughts. So yeah, it's been nice for me just to sort of reflect and think, and yeah, sort of just share some of my views on it all. So thank you so much to everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us. Remember, it would make a huge difference to us, like a massive difference. You might not even think it would, but it's a big difference. Tell the app you're listening to this on right now. Like it, subscribe, comment, download, whatever you do. If you take an action on this right now, you will really help us grow. And yeah, we're doing this for fun. We don't make any money out of this at all. But we really appreciate everyone that's listening. Thanks for making it to the end. Thanks for being a part of our story, for sharing in our podcast journey. We don't get it right all the time, but we do our best, and we've got big plans for 2026. So I'm going to wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Spend it however you need to spend it. And yeah, be safe and happy. And we will see you again in 2026. Merry Christmas!